I just got news from Ventus. Venatori activity is surging everywhere, not just in Minrathous.
Check the back for me.
In a moment.
So the Gloom Howler turns out to be an inside job?
Hard to believe. She was a warden, and she blighted all the Griffins.
For the greater good, I'm sure.
Except no one bothered to ask the Griffins.
Dreads came by to pick up their wine shipment, twitchier than cats in a storm. What's going on?
What is it? I'll keep your head down while you're here. See you soon.
Well, I'm late. Tried grabbing something from Hal's on the way, but the fish fry's not running. So much for supper.
What have you been doing?
Chasing leads. On alias Venatori, Docktown's missing people, and anything that might come close.
Find anything?
Plenty. Something I can use is another story. So here we are. I'm out of leads, and you're at that supper I promised.
Still get time with you. Can't say no to that.
Because our time in the city is always a breeze.
If we ignore the Venatori and the demons, and you're easy to get along with.
Well, put it like that, and I'd have to say likewise.
You know, I can really be myself with you. I know the woman I am. Being with someone who accepts that person, that's what matters.
Turns out who you are has a sweet side.
It pops up on occasion.
So what now?
Anything you want. Name it.
I could use a walk and some rocks.
Rocks?
That's right. So rocks. Look for good ones.
You were serious about this?
You'll see why.
Ooh, look at this fine rock.
Are you making fun of me?
Never. This is quality Minrathous gravel.
Well, aren't you the expert?
So many rocks. How to choose?
You said anything I want.
I trust you have a plan.
Because plans go well for us.
Well, I trust you then.
All right, time to put these rocks to use. Come on.
How are we doing?
With the rocks or in general?
Let's stick with the rocks.
In that case, so far so good. Still trust I have a plan?
I'm with you either way.
Calliope, you still going?
Cassis doesn't have anyone else.
Flyers won't do much.
I don't have a lot to work with.
Over here. I'll take you to my usual spot.
Fancy.
Isn't it?
Is this what you do when you're out of Leeds?
I'd look over my notes, but I've got them by heart. I just need to clear my head.
Nev Gallus without a mind racing. I hardly know you.
Aren't you clever?
So, what are you thinking?
You can't count on a lot here. When I started, I wasn't going to save Minrathus, never mind Thedas. But if I could take a job and follow through, well, maybe people could count on me. But at the end of the day, what have I done here? What sticks? If people like Aelia come back for more... I'm fighting, Rook. Sometimes it feels as though the city itself stabbed me in the back.
Not on my watch. I'm here for you.
I'm getting that impression. Oh, this is crazy.
What?
Getting mixed up with me.
Nev,
Or that I want you to.
it's not crazy.
There's a lot to lose.
Isn't there always?
Have I told you your trouble?
You've got something.
Maybe. Come on. Well, ready to chase a long shot? We need to get to the spillway.
You've got something on Aelia?
We were watched.
By the cat.
Sure. I mean at the relic deal. When Aelia controlled Damas, she mentioned Bataris and the stolen relic. Why bring that up? Why would she care?
You think she was involved?
Or one of her puppets. She's been careful, but there may be something to pick up at the site. A witness. Anything. I'd heard of archdemons before, but never one like that.
Honestly, with everything I've heard about Gillenane, I'm glad it wasn't worse. In the legends about her, she's nice. She created the Hala. She guides us to our destination. But if you read between the lines, it's, well, creepy.
Oh, good.
Emmerich, what are dreams usually like?
Well, there's no usual with dreams.
But are they ever where you're in a dream with someone else and, you know?
Well, other people do frequently feature in dreams.
But what's it mean when you're together?
What do... Ah! Together.
This is all new for me.
The sleeping mind wanders. Intimate dreams are perfectly normal.
Oh, thank the ancestors.
No. I had to kill a man once who did blood magic on nugs. 100 little pigs with hands came after me. All together in one big writhing ball. Have you ever tried to stab a ball of angry nugs? That was a bad job.
I've got a better one. You know what the Wandering Hills are named for? It's a monster. Big heap of red tentacles that crawls around, devouring everything in its path. The damn thing was a hillside, the size of a village. You try fighting a hill with a sword sometime.
How did you kill it?
Lamp oil. Everything stank of burnt tentacles for miles after.
If the two of you were going to open a bottle, you might have told me first.
It's not a good bottle.
Might have to pick up a supply. I have a feeling we'll need it. Is anyone else hungry? Maybe I should cook something.
What about you, Rook? What's the worst job you've ever been on?
Nevin Harding didn't tell you about our hunt for Solus, then?
They don't tell it the way you would.
I mean, it ended with the Elven God of Lies in my head. Is that enough to win the worst job contest?
You joining us then?
Fine. I'll cook something, if Rook's staying.
Maybe just for a minute.
Rook's story first. Then Lucanus owes me one about this contract on a Bronto.
Mierda. That Bronto.
Two dragons at once. That'll give me free drinks with the lords. Now we find whoever's getting dragons for the gods to blight and hit them with an axe.
Rook, when's the last time you slept?
I've heard another landscape has been added to your collection.
It grows.
So, nice tombs you have here.
Thank you, Grey Warden. A pleasure to welcome one of your venerable order.
Their sacrifices are mourned by those beyond.
That's good?
Yes. You live.
Well met.
Nearly finished the chance of the Star's door.
Heads up.
Now, what do you have to say for yourself?
Did I miss something?
Since we're here to gather flowers for the dead, I thought I'd teach Manfred some plant names. But I just caught him attempting to wade into a rose bush.
Emmerich, how could you stay annoyed at that face? Skull.
Oh, Manfred. Whatever will happen to you if I pass on?
If?
There's something I'd like to talk about. Do you know what a lich is, Rook?
Lich. That's Old Tavine for corpse, isn't it?
A lich is a mage transformed into one of the undead while retaining their true, original consciousness. The idea fascinated me when I was younger. For years, I researched and experimented, spoke with spirits and mages. Then, eventually, I found them.
Who?
The Lich Lords of the Grand Necropolis. Necromancers before me who'd transformed themselves into true living dead.
Well, didn't need to sleep tonight.
They're unlikely to visit your slumber. The Liches are the great protectors of the necropolis, bulwarks against forces that threaten creation. After years of tests and rituals, they granted me my desire, the right to attempt lichdom.
You want to become undead?
Lichdom is no ordinary path to undeath. It's far more than common possession.
Oh, that makes it fine then.
Lichdom is an incredible honor. Immortality, prestige, the most hallowed ranks of the Watchers, as well as a chance to be of service past my allotted years. But there are considerations. Come, we have flowers to gather for the dead.
Okay, but I've got questions.
Blue creepvine. This will do nicely.
Emmerich, I can't believe you want to die and stuff a spirit into your body.
Liches are different. It wouldn't be a spirit acting in my name. My true consciousness would be housed in my departed flesh.
How?
The Order must keep some secrets. Moon blossoms, famed in verse and song.
Look, what about flowers? Wouldn't you miss smelling them as a lich?
I've been told that while some of my senses will dull, others will become available. Other than that, I can't say if the flowers would still hold their bloom for me. Lichdom serves a purpose. There are dark things in creation, threats to both our world and the Fade. The Liches of the Necropolis have the insight and the abilities to oppose them.
And you're joining them when?
Certain elements have held me back. There's no ready instructions for lichdom. The steps must be discovered on one's own over years to be fully understood.
Does the spell to become a lich kill you, or do you have to...
No, mercifully, that falls to another Watcher. After my death, my soul will be drawn back into my body instead of moving on to whatever lies beyond.
I still don't think you should do it, but why haven't you become a lich yet?
even with all my preparations, there's a chance I could die permanently during the rites. What cowardice! A promise of immortality, an end to all my fears, and the final veil stays my hand.
That's reasonable. Lots of people are afraid of dying.
Is it? When it keeps me from what I most desire? Traditionally, candidates for lichdom face one final sifting of the soul. If they avoid it, you saw my old colleague.
Hezenkos. She's a lich.
A half-lich, though that hasn't diminished her powers. Until I stop her plans, I won't possess the peace of mind for lichdom. Why don't you select the next flowers, Rook?
Sure. So what's a half-lich exactly?
Johanna attempted the rites of lichdom and failed. Stuck in her in-between state, she is supremely dangerous, but can't learn any new magic.
No wonder Hezenkos was shouting so much.
No, she's always been that way.
What about the sifting of a soul that Hezenkos avoided?
The spirits of the necropolis judge whether a candidate is worthy of the power and responsibility of lichdom.
How'd she become a lich without it?
I shared some knowledge when we were colleagues. She apparently put together more than I knew. It would be just like her to skip the rituals, the cleansings, the preparations of the soul.
That's right. There's probably another skeleton in there. For a watcher, Hezenkos is pretty harsh on spirits.
We made allowances because of her discoveries. Too many. Spirits are not things to be disposed of.
You really care about them?
They're so susceptible to the world's whims, Rook. Some spirits are dangerous, but how quickly most respond to a bit of kindness or care or simple attempt to understand. For all she's done, I can't condemn Johanna for attempting lichdom. That freedom from mortality, that divorce from fear. And of course, time to read all of one's books.
Every mage's dream.
But how she's abused her abilities. Are my intentions enough to fare better?
Worrying's a good sign.
We have enough flowers. There's something I'd like to show you. Here we are.
Oh, so these flowers are for...
Yes. If you could place them on the graves, please.
In memory of Rupert and Eleonora Volkarin, they walk eternity hand in hand.
After I became a watcher, I erected a proper shrine to my parents. When I come to talk, I like to think they listen. Well, don't be shy. Introduce yourself.
Rook, it's a pleasure. Do you remember your parents?
Some memories are bright. Others are akin to those dim early morning dreams one gets sometimes. Lately, I've wondered what they'd think of our current course. the choices ahead.
Your lichdom.
What would they have wanted me to be?
Sorry, but I'm pretty much the worst person you could ask.
Surely not the worst.
I've got my days. You could always speak with your folks, couldn't you?
My parents last saw me as a boy. By the time I mastered my corpse whispering, I was a man. If I woke them, there might be a flash of recognition, or... Besides, if I speak to too many other spirits, Manfred might grow jealous.
Can't have that.
It'd be impossible, I agree.
That thing you said about Gillenane, it jogged a memory. A warden claimed he found his way under a mountain, saw a pool that merged creatures into new, terrible forms.
Right, that matches some of the legends. They say she healed people in those pools.
That warden, his story, it could have been demons or just nightmares of a bad time, but now I wonder.
Well, we haven't found one yet, so let's hope we never do.
Lucanus, the dream where you're being chased by monsters?
Is it the one where you feel like you're stuck in mud, or the one where you just cannot avoid them?
It was the first one. My legs would only move at a snail's pace.
That one's not as bad as the one where I climb a wall and they're already at the top.
Your old necromancer friend, Hezenkas. She's a lich?
In some respects, her attempt to achieve lichdom was only partially successful.
So there are different kinds? Which kind are you? A good lich or a bad lich?
I'm not a lich.
Oh, okay. But Hezenkas is bad? We're okay to kill her? Or re-kill her?
Yes, if we must.
Okay. Sorry we have to re-kill your friend.
As am I, Tash. Thank you.
Felt good to get rid of those dragons. Everything in them was eaten up by blight.
When's the last time?
Risen elven gods, darkspawn. As if the trouble with the cult wasn't enough.
Give me a hand.
Yes, Lorelei.
So the Gloom Howler turns out to be an inside job?
Hard to believe. She was a warden, and she blighted all the griffins.
For the greater good, I'm sure.
Except no one bothered to ask the griffins.
Have you tried zestfish on the other side of the city? Usually separate places.
My family isn't Altus either. You can find success in miracles, even if you're not from one of the old families. Sometimes all you need to do is just act like you're high blood. People tended not to question me, but I shouldn't have to act like something I don't think to get ahead.
Well, I'm late. Tried grabbing something from Hal's on the way, but the fish fry's not running. So much for supper.
What have you been doing?
Chasing leads. On alias Venatori, Docktown's missing people, and anything that might come close.
Find anything?
Plenty. Something I can use is another story. So here we are. I'm out of leads, and you're at that supper I promised.
Well, we've got at least one witness. Want to question him? How about a break? We can still do that, right? A short one can't hurt.
Yeah, maybe. I could use a walk. And some rocks. You up for it?
Rocks?
Yeah. So, rocks. Look for good ones.
You were serious about this?
You'll see why.
Why are we doing this?
You know what they say. Leave no stone unturned.
Really?
No.
Seriously, do you ever take breaks? Real ones?
What do you call this?
Picking up rocks. And I'll bet the coin in my pocket you're thinking of work.
I was thinking of fried fish.
Huh.
Looks like the next one's on you. All right, time to put these rocks to use. Come on.
How are we doing?
With the rocks or in general?
Let's stick with the rocks.
In that case, so far so good.
A win for us.
I guess it is.
Calliope, you still going?
Cassis doesn't have anyone else.
Flyers won't do much.
I don't have a lot to work with here.
Give me some. I'll help.
Over here. I'll take you to my usual spot.
Fancy.
Isn't it? Still think the cat has answers?
No, you never know. Is this what you do when you're out of leads?
I'd look over my notes, but I've got them by heart. I just need to clear my head.
You ever figure out how? Let me know.
Sure thing. You can't count on a lot here. When I started, I wasn't going to save Minrathous, never mind Thedas. But if I could take a job and follow through, well, maybe people could count on me. But at the end of the day, what have I done here? What sticks? If people like Aelia come back for more... I'm fighting, Rook. Sometimes it feels as though the city itself stabs me in the back.
I'm here to help.
I know. But getting mixed up in my problems, it's not the smart play. Rana's partner, Brahm. Where did it leave him? Where does it leave you?
Side by side with Nev Gallus. Like you are for me.
You know you're a sap, right? She was there. We didn't see her.
This worked?
Maybe. Come on. Willing to chase a long shot? We need to get to the spillway.
You got something on Aelia?
She was there. We just didn't see her.
At the spillway?
At the relic deal. When Aelia controlled Damas, she mentioned Bataris and the stolen relic. Why bring that up? Why would she care?
You think she was involved?
Or one of her puppets. She's been careful, but there may be something to pick up at the site. A witness. Anything. We can get to the site from here, up and across that building.
Dreads came by to pick up their wine shipment. Twitchier than cats in a storm. What's going on?
What is it? I'll keep your head down while you're here.
So we're returning to the scene of the crime, where we fought Bataris?
It's just a hunch, but it's the best I've got.
Let's check it out. What's the plan?
Bataris had a red lyrium relic. Those don't play nice with the Veil. The Viper left me a piece of one in case there was more to track. Remnants fade with time, but if we got here soon enough...
Remnants. We've got them.
Fainter than the ones we found before, but I'll see what I can draw out. Let's take a look. Sure thing. The thread smuggler. But this feels scrambled. Two people's thoughts in one source. She wasn't a traitor. She was a puppet. Aelia moving goods to her followers. I've got this. Echoes of greed, pride, our Venatori, Bataris. Look there, there's more. By the waterfall. We're close to something. I can feel it.
Skipping stones really worked.
I guess some of my plans pan out. You bet. This one's afraid. A witness? Someone else showed up too, after we left. If I can pull out more of an echo, a memory.
So Nev Gallus is back. Tell me what you saw.
Nothing, I swear.
Aelia.
No. In my head. Stay out!
A bystander. They must have seen the fight.
Then Aelia showed up.
Tell me, would you see this city rise? Be a thrall in service to its glorious rebirth?
Thrall? No,
Silence! Your will
belongs to the Venatori.
Damn it.
god will unlock my true power. He's given me Vena Vitalis. We start here.
What's Vena Vitalis?
A rumor, an old Tevinter ritual to increase blood magic. Fake accounts appear on the black market. The real records were burned by magisters. It scared them. But if Aelia cozied up to Algernon, an elven god might know the trick. Or something close he could trade as our legacy.
A blood ritual. Then the missing people... It's a lead.
But where? When? Who else does Aelia break before I track her down?
Nev?
This place means something to me. But what am I to it if I can't...
Minrathus failed before, not you. This time we stop Aelia for good. Venatori who threatened Docktown, they've got Nev Gallus to fear.
She won't make it easy.
People's lives are at stake.
Aren't they always? I'm a sucker, Rook. Getting caught up in all this. Bad habit.
It's what we signed up for.
We'll drown in this, Rook.
Or we'll win.